So who liked who first on the app? Do you guys remember?
Oh, I think I liked you first.
Okay.
First,
So you sent the heart or like
I sent the heart.
Did you do a rose or a like?
I did a like.
Okay.
I did not use my rose.
I wasn't rose worthy.
Welcome back to the Life of Marin podcast couples series, where different couples spill the tea about their early days of dating. Today's couple, Cam Scott and Lindsay, met on Hinge despite living in two different cities. This couple defied traditional dating rules and showcased the importance of being authentic, genuine, and bringing reciprocal energy to dating. On their third date, Cam met Sync's entire family at her niece's birthday party, and they have not looked back since. Welcome back to Life of Marin podcast. Today, I'm here with Marin Scott and Sync Lindsay. Hello, guys.
How you doing, Marin?
Good. Last night, we went on a double date, which was so fun.
We had the best time, and all the rumors are true that you guys are the cutest as well.
Aww.
So
Thank
we
you.
had the best time.
Great time double dating.
Stayed out late too.
Yeah, we really did.
We did. We closed down that place.
Yeah.
We were just chatty people. I like a chatty couple though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We all
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so who are you guys? I want to just like separately, obviously you guys are a couple. We'll get into your story. This is the couple series I'm doing right now. But individually would love to know like age, profession, where you grew up, all of that stuff.
Yeah, me first. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
So I'm Sync. I am 33 and I'm from Philly.
Okay.
I've been in New York for a long time though now and kind of bouncing around. But I am basically what you call a full-time creative. So I am working in music licensing as a singer-songwriter. I do voiceover. I'm an actor, a filmmaker, a photographer, and I do some social media creative strategy.
Okay. Wow. So she's a like triple, quadruple threat.
Lots of stuff. I'm just like busy and chaotic, basically.
And so who are you, Cam?
So my name's Cam Scott, born and raised in Queens, so New York kid. My background is I worked in baseball, so I worked for the New York Mets, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the league office, MLB league office as a whole, really in like scouting, contract negotiations, building the teams and whatnot. I now own a sports agency with a few partners called Atlas Sports. So not as multi-talented as Sing here, but
pretty multi-talented.
I would say.
No.
You should hear him sing in the shower.
You guys are a power couple.
We have fun. We have fun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of things that we've learned in her industry and my industry together, the similarities that she didn't really know much about sports and I didn't know much about the music and entertainment industry. But so much of it really is the same. At the end of the day.
Yeah. And we talk about that all the time. Like we find all these similarities and give each other advice and counsel in our different fields, which is bizarre because neither of us has expertise in either of those fields. So,
but it's still valid and relevant. And I think sometimes like you have like your unique take, and then that can even be more helpful because it's fresh and not like the run of the mill type of take. But okay, let's go into your story. So you guys are a couple. You've been dating for 1.5 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. How did you guys meet?
Do you want to?
So we met on the app that is meant to be deleted, Hinge.
Ooh.
We met on Hinge.
Okay.
Did delete.
Did delete.
Yeah.
Did indeed delete.
Okay.
So yeah, I think at that time, for me specifically, I go out to Arizona in the fall for about 2 months for work. When I travel, historically, I never use the apps just because I just didn't find the point of it when I was single. So I had come back. It was about Thanksgiving time, Christmas time of 2022? Yeah. And I had to like oddly just download the app, right? And it's holiday time, so I never really use the apps during holiday time. I'm locked into family. It's like the only time I have some time off and whatnot. But I just like downloaded it and I was like, oh, we'll see, maybe, go on a date or so and whatever. And then Sync and I matched and that was pretty much it. We started dating. We started going on dates, but I guess you could explain a little more, but it was never like, what are we type stuff. It was just like, all right, then the next date, the next date. And then it was just like we were locked in from there.
was a good flow.
A very good flow. Very good flow.
So who liked who first on the app? Do you guys remember?
Oh, I think I liked you first.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, yeah.
So you sent the heart or like
I sent the heart.
Did you do a rose or a like?
I did a like.
Okay.
I did not use my rose.
I wasn't rose-worthy yet.
No, you are rose-worthy. But I think his profile came up pretty quickly for me once I downloaded the app. And then it was like what I would call a really green flag profile.
Okay.
In that it's like not super well done.
No, I will say there was not too much effort put in, like the prompts and everything.
Okay.
Obviously zero effort is not the best either, but it was just enough effort to give me a sense of who he was. And I don't know, you were sort of jumping off the screen at me like your essence was, but it was pretty minimal what was on his profile.
Okay. Yep.
I was like also kind of a green flag because I think when men, like in a sort of heteronormative framework, when men are putting in too much effort, it's a little bit like, oh, like, why do you care so much?
That's fair. That's fair. So you were like, he didn't have like airbrushed photos. It sounds like it was just like kind of like he threw up probably whatever photos his friends had taken of him.
Straight off the camera roll.
Yeah, it wasn't like your gym selfies or like, you weren't putting in all this effort to explain yourself. But the thing that I liked, I was scrolling down his profile and I saw that he said, it was like the prompt that is...
what was it, Hamilton or something?
Yeah, we'll get along well if you are also obsessed with Hamilton, the musical. And so I was like, oh, this guy's into theater.
Wait, that is such a green flag to say, by the way. Like a guy who loves musicals.
Yeah. And for me too, I think what you choose to like says a bit about you to them. So I was like, I'm going to like this response, even though you had some great photos and all that. So I liked first.
Yeah. And it was that response that you liked too.
And then did you message her?
Wow. Yeah,
I
probably.
get into the details.
I think that
I know. I'm like, we can give you.
I think that is what happened. I messaged you. Yeah.
Did you guys like go back and forth a lot, or did you guys get straight to the date?
We were pretty efficient. Like you messaged me and we sort of, I don't know, it was like a pretty basic conversation.
Yeah.
But we got to planning pretty quickly for a date. And then I sort of upped the ante and sent you a voice note because I was like, I'm going to pre-screen. I don't really do dating apps. I could go into how I came to the point of downloading Hinge because it was very not... it was very out of character for me, I guess. And so, so I was not about to go on a date with somebody that I hadn't gotten a sense of a little bit.
Totally.
So I sent you a voice note like, I'm driving.
Oh yeah.
She like, I'm driving.
Love this.
What do you think about, you had thrown out some date ideas, which I appreciated. I appreciated you coming up with a plan, but then I sort of added to that and was like, oh, I'm voice noting and I'm going to see if he kind of like matches my energy and what he sounds like. And so you did. And you sounded great. You sounded very normal. So I was like,
it's a big part of it, though, and you just don't know what you're getting into and whatnot.
They're strangers from the internet. So it's like until you meet or voice note or like get some of that context clues, like I think that's a smart thing to do, actually. It's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend to the girlies out there. I'm like, just, and it wasn't like I was so strategic about it. I just knew that I wanted to keep an open mind, but I also wanted to be able to like really know that I wanted to go on a date before going on it and spending all this time. And then even for our date, I did the classic, like I have plans after and we met kind of.
She didn't make those plans after.
Oh, she didn't make the plans.
She didn't make the plans after.
Okay, before we go into your first date, where were you in your love journey? What were you kind of doing? What was your mindset?
I'm like, oh yes, how much time do we have? No, I would say that I was in a really good place by the time we went on a date because I had done so much work on myself. I think for years I was dating sort of the unavailable types, or if somebody was available, I was sort of running for the hills because I hadn't done the inner work on myself to know really not only what I wanted, but just felt the feeling of readiness for a relationship. I think I actually just wasn't ready for a long time. And so I was sort of subconsciously attracting things that I knew wouldn't work out.
Yeah.
Looking back on it now, I think when I was in the thick of it, I didn't realize that. But I had this moment where I thought, like, this is not what I want. I'm not meeting anyone that feels like this can go anywhere. And I do want that. So when I got clear about the fact that I want a long-term, lifelong partnership, then I sort of took a pause and stopped dating entirely, started to really, I'm like the true nerd that I am. I dove really deep into dating gurus like Matthew Hussey, we were talking about last night.
He's a good one.
He's a great one.
Yeah.
And I feel like I really learned how I was showing up in dating in a way that wasn't serving me. So then I really, after a few months of no dating, just kind of taking that all in and then getting really clear and doing all the I was scripting about who I wanted in my life. And I actually have a journal entry a month before we went on a date where I basically describe Cam.
Aww, wait.
Minus the sports.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed. So you manifested him. You scripted him.
I legitimately think I manifested you into my life.
You manifested
you didn't exist
for the
before.
both of us.
Wait.
Totally.
So did you script it? So what is scripting exactly? It's where you write out what you want.
Yeah. So scripting is a form of manifestation, basically, where you write your life in present tense. The life that you desire, you write out in present tense. So it's usually from a place of gratitude. So
I love that.
I'm so happy that every day I get to wake up and go to my favorite coffee shop in my favorite neighborhood, and my life partner is supportive, and just all these qualities, and you sort of walk yourself through what that feels like. It's almost like visualization, which I feel like in sports is a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of that. And about a month before we went on a date, I described you. I conjured this man. And then I think it's so funny because I did all this sort of self-reflective work and foundational work. And then one day, so me is to just be very impulsive. And I just downloaded Hinge, and I had no business doing that. I was I had just finished a film project. I was doing a play. I was in Philly, and I set Hinge to New York because I was too afraid to date in Philly. So I was just
So you're long distance dating, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Interesting.
And also, the first and only time I had done dating apps before that was for a month in 2019, and I just experienced all the horror stories and was like, I can't do this. So
was Cam your first dating app date? Was he the very first one?
Yeah, well,
not
after 2019. He was the first and only date I went on after re-downloading any apps.
That's amazing.
I know. I'm like, Hinge should sponsor us.
Honestly, they should. That's a great success rate. So what attracted you to her dating app profile?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you. Tell us. She's like, I'm ready.
I think we
flowers.
Oh, of course. I think for both of us, it was, we both kind of pin it. We don't know how to exactly pinpoint it. I specifically don't know how to exactly pinpoint it, but I would start with her smile. It just was through the roof, just beaming in all of her pictures. I think specifically the picture with you with her nieces, that was just really cute.
Yeah.
very family oriented. That's something that's very important to me. My family's very important to me. Sing's family is extremely important to her. And now both our families are very important to each other, vice versa, from what we built. So I think off the bat, that really showed it to me. But I think there's just something about, she just has this aura that kind of transcends anything. Like when she walks into a room, and that's something that was just extremely intoxicating to me, just off her profile. And then once we got to our first date, it was curtains.
It was over.
It was over.
Okay, so tell me about your first date. Where'd you guys go? How was it? What was your first impressions of each other? The Life of Marin podcast is presented by MAAR Dating Club. MAAR Dating Club is a matchmaking service that represents New York City's most eligible singles. MAAR Dating Club works with professionals who don't have time or interest in dating apps, but are genuinely ready to find love. We are a boutique firm that focuses on quality matches and guides and coaches our clients throughout the process. Use the link in the episode notes to book your introductory call today.
We landed on just going for a walk in Winter Village because it was right before Christmas.
Yep. Right in Bryant Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it was sort of a conservative choice because I was like, I'm ready for the worst. Even though I could tell that
Look at him. He's like, what do you do?
Yeah. So we met in Bryant Park, sort of on the steps to Winter Village. And that, in retrospect, that was a horrible idea because it was so crowded.
It was packed. We couldn't find each other. It was just like,
no.
It was
and
crazy.
I remember actually you called me looking for me. And normally that gives me a lot of anxiety to talk on the phone to people that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember thinking on the phone that I just felt instantly at ease talking to you. And you were we were like giving each other landmarks about what we were looking at. And then as soon as I saw you, it's a similar thing where that aura and essence that jumped off the screen, I felt in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was kind of like a movie. Like we were on the phone. It's just like, oh, where you are. And then like I turn around and I look up and I just see her on the top of the steps. I'm like, oh, I see you right there. And it was just like that. Like
I
it's like literally just slow motion, everything.
Aww.
And like it's cheesy and corny, but like that's legit what it was.
Mm-hmm.
It was
it really felt that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we went on a walk and quickly realized like this is not, we want to sit down and have a drink.
Yeah.
So we walked around Winter Village for a little while, and then you knew of this amazing, Cam knows all the best places to go for drinks and food, and I don't have to do a lot of work, which is great.
That's amazing.
But he knew of this sort of speakeasy that's behind the shoe department in Saks Fifth Ave.
Yeah.
I think the entrance is no longer there.
Yeah. So it used to, I would say pre-COVID, it was like a full in Saks Fifth Ave, right in Rock Center. You just go up, you go like in the shoe department, past Gucci, past all that stuff. And there's like a little door. It was called La Chalet back then. It's probably Avenue. I'm probably butchering it, something different. But it's one of my favorite spots in the city, especially during Christmas time. There's a view of the tree straight from the restaurant and everything. So
Beautiful.
He has all the moves.
He has all the,
So he brought you to this secret spot. You guys got drinks, dinner. Like what happened?
got
drunks.
Okay.
Did we have wine? Or did we have cocktails?
I think we had cocktails, and then we hit it off with our bartender.
Oh
too.
yeah,
he was
That
like,
was also a green flag.
We were just like, well, for us, it was a green flag. It showed each other like, oh, we can have a great time with each other, also interact with other people seamlessly.
And the conversation just flowed. We were having fun and finding common ground, but we were also getting really deep about like big loss that we've both experienced in our lives that I think, just sort of, again, it felt like a movie in terms of just the connectivity and the chemistry. However, I will say that I think we were talking about this at dinner last night. Like the chemistry was not the kind of chemistry that feels like, oh my God, I'm so anxious and my nervous system's all activated and like, do they like me and what's happening? And it was so calm. I felt so soothed in your presence, but also we're vibing. So it was like this very strange, in a delightful way, experience.
It was very familiar, I guess you could say. It was just very, very familiar, and that continued to carry on. Just so like making plans was easy, and we were doing kind of like Philly to New York, so making plans was like logisticing long distance. Was easy. It was just like, all right, yeah, we'll make this happen, or we'll make that happen, and whatnot after that.
That's interesting.
No, it was a great first date. Walked her back to the train.
Oh yeah.
Didn't kiss her.
No kiss on the first date?
No kiss.
No. Well,
were you guys disappointed? Like, why no kiss?
Were you disappointed?
Well, no. I mean, I was starting to get sick, and I felt really bad because it's about to be Christmas, and I didn't think it was COVID or anything, but I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to cancel this date, but I'm getting sick, and I think I gave you sort of an out to not do it. But I wanted to see what this was about. So luckily you said yes. But the whole time I was feeling hyper aware that I'm definitely coming down with something. And then I forget that I think also Cam has this energy of, I think people just automatically really respect him and sort of, I don't know. I think you have this kind of like regal aura to you. And I was feeling that and feeling very sort of like, I don't want to be too, forward or whatever. I think Cam thinks that I just thought he was a square, but.
No. You definitely thought I was a square.
I didn't per se think that. But no, he walked me all the way to the train. And we were sort of dumbfounded by how good of a time we had just had. So we kept saying to each other, like, yeah, I had a great time. Like, but then we were just standing there staring at each other at the turnstiles in the subway. And
so much tension.
So much. And I was like, well, can I give you a hug? Thinking, oh, this man is so disgusted by the fact that I'm clearly getting sick.
Yeah.
That wasn't it at all.
Okay.
I think for me, it just went so well that I just didn't want to force anything.
Okay.
Or really just push any boundaries. And I mean, if we would have had that kiss, it would have been great. Our first kiss was incredible. It was absolutely incredible on our second date.
Okay.
So you should tell that.
Yeah.
So our first kiss was incredible, but that first date, I just didn't want to push anything. Everything went so well, and I had that same respect for Sync that she's saying that she had for me. So I just wanted to just leave it be and just continue to know each other.
This is so cute. You both were just so respectful towards each other because you're like, I really like them. I don't want to, push any boundaries.
And I think both of us, we wanted to go into sort of a courtship. I think both of us had this, like we were intentionally dating. So there was a lot of, I don't know, restraint as far as not doing anything stupid or being too hasty, I guess.
Yeah.
So did you guys talk about what you were looking for on the first date? Did that conversation come up at all? Because you mentioned you both were being so intentional.
It's interesting. I don't think we specifically talked about what we're looking for. I think what we were both saying to each other was exactly what we were looking for.
Okay.
So I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, but her ethos and my ethos explaining it to each other just aligned. Yeah. Really kind of off the bat.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
So it wasn't really like, oh, like I'm looking for someone that, is family oriented. I'm looking for someone that, has passion about something. It just flowed and oozed out in everything we were saying to each other. So we were just checking boxes as we went in the date and in the conversation.
That's cool.
It's like embedded into the subtext of the conversation.
So yes. And I always say, like, you don't have to be so, like, you can ask the question without asking the question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can read between the lines.
Totally.
And then it doesn't feel as formal. It doesn't feel like, okay, I'm checking the boxes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm evaluating.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, important. So then after the first date, you get on the train. What happens? Are you texting him? Is he texting you?
I think you texted me sort of I hope you got home safely and I would love to go on another date. The sort of follow up, like, let's do this again sometime.
Yeah. This was really
and
fun.
also happy holidays.
Yeah.
And then we So then the holidays hit, Christmas time and everything hit. And we FaceTimed.
Okay.
So we did a FaceTime date in between, or maybe a couple FaceTime dates in between.
Yep.
And then we planned our second date in person. And that was...
I planned that one,
yes,
I think.
Yes.
And what was the plan? I love this because it's a very reciprocal, like there was a courtship, but also it was like you were putting yourself out there too. I think a lot of women are afraid to do that.
Yeah, and I just didn't want, I knew that I wanted to hold out for the right green flags, but that also I am a participant. I think sometimes
you're an active participant.
Yeah. People are so passive and waiting for the right guy to just swoop in and take care of everything. And it's like, no, we also have to show up and present ourselves authentically. And so I wanted to have it feel like an even flow, I guess. And so we planned, I offered going to a museum that was really cool down in, it was like down by the courthouse.
Yeah, like right in Defied.
Okay.
And there were all these great sort of light installations. But what we did realize when we got there though, is that we really just wanted to chat and we had to be sort of quiet.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So it was like, right, okay, yeah, this is, I mean, speaking of tension, there was just a lot of tension there. And that was a date where I think both of us were like, we really want to kiss. And I was thinking, you know, that, not that that's a deal breaker at all, but it's like, I kind of want to know how that's going to go.
Right.
Yep.
Physical chemistry is important. So, yeah.
So how did the kiss happen?
I mean, I think you could probably explain it a little better than me.
I'll give it a rom-com spin because that's how it felt again, is that we were the whole time in the museum, it's like very shy and bashful and like, oh yeah, we definitely want to kiss. And then we were leaving to go get drinks down in Fi-Dai because Cam knew a great spot, as always, down in Fi-Dai. And we were walking out and I was walking in front of him and he did that sort of like classic, like he just grabbed my arm and kind of like turned me around for this really great kiss. I was
Wait, that's kind of hot. Wait, tell
it was like
more.
a hot kiss. Like
Yeah,
I saw like his swagger come out, which I had been seeing, but I hadn't seen it in that way. And then it was like, oh, he can sort of like physically take charge. And
I had to let her know I wasn't a square.
Yeah.
You were thinking I was a little bit of a square from not kissing you the first date.
Thought you had high standards. I thought you had high standards. Which you
codename for square.
I mean, I liked, but then you came through and you grabbed her arm and then you spun her around and then you kissed her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a good kiss from both of your perspective.
Yeah, it was an incredible kiss.
Yeah.
Incredible kiss.
Good chemistry, all the things.
Yeah. Worth the wait.
Okay.
Definitely worth the wait.
I love that.
Yeah. So our second date was like our makeout date.
Yeah.
So then once you made out, like once you had one kiss, then did you like make out the whole night?
That night, you walked me to the subway again, and we were definitely making out down by the turnstile.
I love that. Because at the end of each date, you had to go back to Philly.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Or I was staying with a friend in Brooklyn or like doing a little quick visit. But either way, neither of us really had a situation of like, you know, come back to mine. But I don't think either of us were hoping to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it really was just... It really, we always kind of just harp on it or come back to it because it really was just like, we're just going with the flow. We're going where this is going and no rush, no reason to push things past what they are. It's just as it went is.
It was so
as
innocent.
It went.
It was so innocent and cute. So then you guys, is that when you guys both knew you had crushes on each other? Or when did you guys start to actually like really be like, oh shit, I like this person?
Oh, man.
Pretty much like off the bat.
Off the bat.
Yeah,
like
off
first
the bat,
date.
first date.
Okay.
100%.
I knew I was in trouble first date, I think.
Yeah.
With liking you.
100%.
Okay. So you guys had an early crush and then tell me about then like how you guys became boyfriend, girlfriend. Because then I know you guys had an untraditional third date, which I want you guys to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
Because people are very caught up on timelines and when it's right to do certain things. Let's hear about your third date.
Yeah. Our third date was definitely definitely very untraditional. So essentially, I was starting to go on the road for work, and Sync was going to LA for work as well.
Yeah, we were both about, and so it was so weird that we decided to go on a couple first dates because it was like neither of us were going to be around for a couple months.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was about to be in LA for a little over a month. You were going to be on your spring tour, and we were trying to figure out, okay, when could we do maybe a last date before that starts?
Okay.
And we're looking at our calendars, and I was like, the one day I could do is this Saturday, but it's my niece's first birthday party with my whole family.
And you were down.
Yeah.
So what'd you say? Were you like, I'll come?
Yeah, no hesitation. I was just like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I'll come. And it was just we just wanted to spend time with each other before both leaving and
traveling.
And I really didn't even like have a second thought about, I'm going to meet her whole family, which I met pretty much the whole family, extended family,
on
everything.
Date 3.
On date 3. So
I'm freaking out right now. I'm like, how is this possible?
Yeah, so went down to Philly, drove down to Philly.
Yeah.
We did a nice little Philly date day. We went like sightseeing on a Philly tour bus and stuff like that.
Really fun.
And then met the whole family at her niece's first birthday. And the one thing that I was very gracious about was that her family just like welcomed me with open arms and everything. And we have very close relationships with our families now, and I'm very close with her brothers-in-laws and everything. And we just kind of crack on each other about Philly sports, New York sports and everything. But it really just started that day and whatnot.
And everybody was like ragging on us a little bit. Like, this is crazy.
They're like, I come in, they're like, oh, you're bold. Like, just coming in here. And I was like, I'm here. Like,
my whole family was sort of giddy. Like, we can't wait to meet him. And also like, this is wacky. Like, what are we doing? And for us,
I love it.
It was sort of that way. But I think also it just felt so normal to us because of this very easygoing beginning we were having, that it was like,
definitely our friends were like, wait, you're doing what?
And
I was just like, we're doing it, just going. So
are you sure you want to do that? Yikes.
I mean, and then when did you guys become boyfriend and girlfriend? Like, did you guys have like the exclusivity talk and then boyfriend, girlfriend, or like, because by date 3, if you're going to a first birthday party, like it seems like it felt serious from the very beginning.
So we never had the exclusivity talk.
Okay.
We just never, we were just doing it. We were just going, doing it, really locked into each other. I would say probably a few months of courting each other and whatnot. And then I had a work trip in Arizona in March, like late March or so. And Sync was out in LA. So I actually went out to visit her in LA.
Which was so fun.
It was amazing. We had such a good time. And I did something I never did. I extended the trip a day later. So
she had you wrapped around her.
It's something I've never done. So that's how you know. That's how you know.
I saw a play twice.
Yeah,
like,
went to the same play. We were having a ball. We were doing everything that kind of all of our passions and pursuits that we shared with each other. We were just doing it. And then we went to dinner in Santa Monica. And then I just asked her. I was like,
I don't even remember how you asked, actually. But
I don't even.
Did you say, will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah, I did verbatim say that.
Cute.
Did verbatim say that.
I'm like, I don't remember. I blacked out, but it was great.
And why is it that we always black out like every time there's these moments? It's crazy.
That's so true.
Because it was so exciting and happy. And I had not been in a relationship for a long time at that point. So it was pretty monumental. Like, oh, wow, I'm saying yes to this guy that I really like.
We're boyfriend, girlfriend now.
Boyfriend, girlfriend. So I felt like a 15-year-old or something. Like, he's my boyfriend. But yeah, don't remember at all how you asked me.
Were there any tense conversations leading up for either of you guys where you're like, what are we? Like, did you guys ever feel, because I know a lot of people get anxious between that early days of dating to the let's become official phase. Were there ever any like tense moments between you guys?
Zero.
No.
Zero.
It just flowed. You knew.
Flowed. Yeah. And I mean, we've had difficult conversations throughout our relationship because we're not.
It's a relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like we know that that's going to happen, but really in the lead up,
it just
was
slowed.
like,
That's amazing.
I don't know. I felt like I had a lot of trust in where it was headed. And even if you were going on other dates, I just wasn't like feeling all that worried about it.
Yeah. We both just had this almost trusting the process, as cliche as it is. We really just both trusted it together and, and it worked.
That's, it makes sense. So, okay. So you guys became boyfriend and girlfriend. And then when did you guys say I love you?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm like, how do you want to?
Was that like a big moment or?
Oh, I said it first.
You said it first
and you didn't say it back to me.
What?
Ooh.
Well, no, well, hold on. I feel like
wait, we need the story.
I think that, what I will say is what's interesting about our I love yous is they were sort of born out of maybe a more difficult conversation.
Yeah.
So
they actually,
we were like out having a great time and drinking, and we're very open with each other in terms of just so radically honest about like our pasts and our lives and whatever. And so of course, the more I think you get into a relationship, the less you really enjoy hearing about somebody's past.
I would agree.
Yep.
Yes. So we discovered that night that it was like, oh, we really don't like this. This is hard to talk about. And I think Cam really, for him, that was telling that he, was in love. And so I think you said kind of after maybe the next day, you said that you were falling for me. And I knew I loved it. Like I was saying that I thought I probably loved you after like our second date, but in a sort of joking way, because I was like, that's ridiculous. But I knew that I did. And I think because he said it out of a maybe more difficult conversation, I was sort of giving space for that to ruminate. And not just sort of be like,
appreciate.
I love you too. And not just mirror him for the sake of mirroring him. And I feel like it was more of an evolution of, but I don't remember the first time I said it to you. Do you remember that?
No.
Blacked out
Actually,
again.
I don't black out
know.
again. But
okay, go ahead.
No,
so you go.
But yeah, it really, I think you hit it on the head. It really kind of like that difficult conversation that we had. It really did show me just like, oh, I love her. I'm in love with her.
Yep.
And, I'm just gonna say it. And it really just came out. Probably not as other timing or romantic as our courtship was. That probably wasn't the best timing to say it, but it just was.
It is like, it was authentic. It was raw, which I think is good. Like express yourself, be emotionally available. So did your age gap ever come up? Because I know you guys are 4 years apart.
Yeah, about 4.5
okay,
years
like 4.5 years apart. For me, as a woman in my 30s, like I would be a little bit apprehensive to date somebody younger than me.
Totally.
Because I like at one point when I was single, I was looking for something very long-term and intentional. So I have friends who have age gaps. Like one of my best friends, her boyfriend's like 5 years younger than her, and they're the perfect couple and they're going to end up together forever. So I know it's possible, but was that ever a moment of pause for you too?
Not really.
No.
You're handing this one to me. I think actually when I was younger, I felt more ageist towards younger men and dating them. Like when I was 27, 28, I felt like, 25-year-olds, which is so silly because then I think through my years of dating after that, I did end up dating some younger men, and it did sort of dispel that myth for me. However, I think more often than not, if you're dating someone who's significantly younger in a really pivotal time of life where I'm starting to look for something more serious, more long-term, settling down, starting a family, and somebody's in a stage of life where they are not trying to do that anytime soon, I think it just doesn't make sense. So it was nice because I went into dating Cam with the open mind of someone younger, but also knowing I'm not going to tolerate accepting crumbs and waiting around for some young dude to be ready and have him maybe never be ready. But to Cam's credit, he is just such an old soul and like so mature, so wise beyond his years. And I think also, as we sort of touched on, has been through some major loss in his life, which I have also experienced. And so for us, that was like a massive touch point that I knew was sort of, I guess it was evidence of staying power.
Oh, interesting. So how did you perceive it, Cam? Like, because now you're dating an older woman. And when I say older woman, like we all seem the same age. And by the way, I'm a month older than Harrison. And so I'm also also the older woman. And I love it. We are the cougars. We should like make jackets or something.
Cougar Club.
Yeah.
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah, I mean, you know what?
I asked you, because I was concerned he would have maybe an issue.
Yeah, I think, I think age-wise, it really wasn't a thought for me, to be honest. And it just, I think, again, it was just, we were just so wrapped into it. We were just so into each other that age-wise really didn't make a difference. At the end of the day, I think even like, now it's not even a thought in my head as we just go through day-to-day life. It just really isn't that much of a thought. You know, obviously we've had conversations of just like our future and having kids and whatnot, which is just like conversations that, you know, if you're
mature.
Yeah, if you're mature and you're planning to be in this for the long haul, they're conversations that have to be had.
Yep.
But it's not it's not a sticking point or anything like that. I think dating younger, I would probably actually have more apprehension
for you because you are in a different life stage.
Yeah.
And you guys also just seem like such a partnership in all aspects of life. Like you're romantic partners, but it seems like you guys like are like best friends too.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 100%. It really is it really is a blessing. I mean, I know for me as a man, finding a partner that will pour into me, but then I also will pour into them was very important to me.
Yeah.
And something that I just honestly never thought I would find. And we found it. We really did. We really
scripted that out.
She was
manifested. We really just like, I really am fortunate because like she's in my corner every day and I'm in her corner every day. And it really is something that, it's hard to explain. It's just a blessing, really.
It is. Yeah. And we have a lot of fun too.
Yeah, we do have a lot of fun.
You guys seem like a very fun couple.
No, I mean,
we get into a lot of trouble.
You and Harrison are a fun couple. We had fun last night at dinner,
like,
you know?
We're going to have to go on another second. Like, we're going to go on a second double date with you guys. We're courting you now.
The equivalent of like meeting the whole family is that we'll just go on a vacation to Miami.
Oh, yeah.
Really fast.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
Yeah. Okay, so we have to do a part 2 at some point because you guys, I just love your story, everything about you guys. Before we go though, I always like to say, or I always like to ask, what's your favorite thing about each other?
Oh, my favorite?
Yeah.
I'm like, Cammy.
Why'd you choose each other?
Oh.
Gosh.
Wow, that's a good question. I think for me, the way we are now, I could see ourselves the same way when we're 90 years old, honestly. Like just still living life, still enjoying life, still finding the fun in things. I think that's what it is for me. What it's grown to be is just off the bat. It was just that like we're teammates. That's it. And it's not even just like, oh, we're teammates, like we work well together. And it's teammates like our romantic life. It's teammates in our business life, our family life, logistical, like everything we do, we just work through it well together. Even the bumpy things, we get through it. We're open with each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love the most about us is especially like conflict. You know, if conflict comes up, yeah, of course, you know, emotions get tense or whatever, but like we work through it and we squash it and we make sure that we protect the relationship. And that's really the number one thing Sink said to me was like, I just want to protect our relationship. And we do that in all areas and all facets of our relationship.
And as you put it, we sit in the muck.
Yeah.
when there's conflict.
Which is cool because every couple fights, but it sounds like you guys have a really healthy way of like going about fighting, sitting in the muck, but also protecting the relationship and resolving it. But the
only way is through. You just got to go through it and attack it head on. And I'm fortunate that we do that together so well.
Yeah, I agree. And for me, I think it's just who Cam is, like his whole being is beyond what I would ever have even imagined was possible or asked for. And I like to be careful not to pedestal partners and like make them responsible to be your best friend and like your lover and your cheerleader and your whatever. But Cam is truly all of those things for me, and I hope vice versa. And I think that I think his goodness is what stands out to me the most. Like I've never met someone who is so hot and yet has so much integrity in their life.
Both of you.
His principles are just outstanding and his kindness is felt by everyone. And we joke in my family that Cam's the mayor. Like where he goes, he's the mayor, because I feel like you have that sort of effect on everyone. It's your regal aura. But it comes from that kindness and that goodness and just, I don't know. It's like you're an angel on earth, I think.
That is you. That is truly you.
So that's my favorite thing.
You guys are honestly my favorite couple. Like you're just both glowing and the best people. So where can people find you? You know, I know you're a sports agent and you are a star. You have your singing and all of the creative that you do. So if people want to stalk you after this episode, where can they look you guys up?
Yeah, you can stalk me at Think Sync on all platforms. So Think and then SINK, my nickname. And I'm on like Instagram and TikTok and I'm hanging out. I'm on there.
I'm pretty much just on Instagram, just Cam Scott on Instagram. Probably that's what she's helping with too, is building like
your social presence.
My social presence and everything. It is important. It's something that I'm like, but
I'm like, for your business, creative strategy.
Yes, Sig is showing me the way.
Showing me the way. And one last thing, just to wrap up the story. So you guys started out as distance. You were Philly, you were New York.
Yeah.
And now you're moving in together, or you've moved in together.
Yeah. We moved into a sublet 2 months ago. So that was our first moving in together, which we were more than ready for. I think we were ready to move in together.
Yeah, the logisticing
a while ago. Right. But it wasn't the time logistically or for our schedules. And now, unfortunately, we've chosen a sublet, so it's ending in a week. No. And we're not totally sure what next steps are for permanent apartment, but we do know it went really well and we want to keep living together and keep it moving. Yeah.
This is so cute.
So wish us luck.
I know. Well, we're sending you all the good vibes and we'll just do a part 2 because I feel like you guys are just such an iconic couple. So thanks for your time today.
We appreciate you having us.
Marin. I can't wait till our next date.
Yes, our next double date.
I know. It's all happening. Please subscribe to my channel. I never ask people to do that, but I need to remind people. Please, if you want to keep seeing these episodes, subscribe, rate, review, all the things. Thanks again, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.